I'm gonna press. Okay. All right, I'm recording now.
Today, we'll be sharing our final group social media project and presentation that we based off Fenty Beauty that we've been working on all semester. My name is Bella Brown.
My name is Lulu.
I'm Alexa.
I'm Ariel.
Excellent. So today, I will be starting off with our agenda. I'll be giving you a quick overview of what we'll be covering in today's presentation so you know what to expect and how each section builds towards our final campaign recommendation for Fenty Beauty. We'll start by walking through our research and audits, where we'll highlight the major insights from our content audit, audience analysis, and competitor review. This section is very important because it shows our foundation behind our total campaign, essentially how the data led us directly to our strategic idea. Next, we'll move into the opportunity and idea, where we will identify the biggest growth opportunity for Fenty Beauty on social media and introduce our main campaign concept. This will include how we're positioning the idea and why it solves a key challenge or gap we found throughout our research. After that, we'll go over our goals and SMART objectives. These outline what we want in the campaign to accomplish and how these outcomes connect back to Fenty Beauty's larger organizational and marketing goals. Then we'll define our target audience, who specifically we're trying to reach within this campaign. We'll share audience insights, behaviors, and reasoning. We'll also introduce an audience persona to help visualize who this campaign is designed for. From there, we'll walk through our content and channel strategy, where we break down the campaign and how it will actually come to life. We'll explain which platforms we're using and why, the types of content we'll produce, any phases or components of the strategy. This section will also include our recommendation for one paid social media ad format and 4 mockups that illustrate the example of the campaign posts. Next, we'll introduce our influencer or new technology recommendation, depending on which direction. Here, we'll explain the influencer or technology that makes the most sense for the campaign and what role it will play in our driving engagement and results. Finally, we'll end with our evaluation plan, outlining how success will be measured, what KPIs we'll track, how often the performance will be reviewed, and how those metrics connect back to our SMART objectives. We'll wrap up with our references slide, which includes all the citation and footnotes throughout the entire presentation in one place.
So I'll start off by looking at the research and audits that we did for this campaign. So we started by looking at the platform performance for Fenty Beauty. Instagram is Fenty Beauty's most active and followed platform with 13.2 million followers and almost 12,000 posts. The brand posts multiple times per day, typically over 5 posts, and these posts consist of product launches, seasonal campaigns, promotional sales, and beauty tutorials. Limited edition and seasonal launches generate the highest engagement. An example of one of these is the holiday-themed Glossy Posse lip set. And user engagement on Instagram is overwhelmingly positive, with comments expressing excitement, intent to purchase, and brand loyalty. Next, we looked at TikTok. Fenty Beauty's TikTok has 3.4 million followers and over 75 million likes. TikTok generates the most engagement for the brand, as content here is driven by trends and encourages fast-paced interactions. The brand is highly responsive to comments, which again encourages interactions and it fosters two-way communication between the audience and the brand. There's a high frequency of posts from the brand on TikTok with an average of 1 to 2 posts per day. Fenty Beauty's YouTube has 1.1 million subscribers and over 900 videos. However, their YouTube is underutilized despite them having such a large subscriber base. Content on this platform is not regularly updated, as we see there's sometimes months going between videos where the brand isn't posting content. And the existing content is comprised of long-form video tutorials, behind the scenes of campaigns, and influencer-led demonstrations of them using the Fenty Beauty products. There's weak engagements on YouTube in comparison to the number of subscribers. Views are anywhere between 3K to 20K, which is shocking since they do have over 1 million subscribers. As we can see, there's major potential for the brand to grow here. Next, we looked at the audience. Fenty Beauty is a brand for everyone who wears makeup. Their Beauty for All ethos targets a diverse audience, and this is affirmed by the fact that they offer over 40 different shades. Their audience includes Gen Z and millennials, which is ages 18 to 34, And these people are people who are active on social media. And while the brand is often talked about as being for women, it also appeals to men and non-binary individuals because of its inclusive messaging. Their audience is mainly English speaking, as posts from Talkwalker analysis shows that 73.8 of the posts that were analyzed were in English. However, we can see the brand is also big in other parts of the world. French language posts made up 19.7% of the posts that were analyzed. Positive sentiment on social media is 32%, while negative is 34.3%. So we also looked at their competitors. One of them was Rare Beauty, and this is another celebrity-founded brand. It was founded by Selena Gomez in September of 2020. They have similar values to Fenty Beauty, being inclusivity, acceptance, and authenticity. So they do share a lot of the same audience. However, Rare Beauty does have less followers than Fenty Beauty across all their social media. They have 8.4 million Instagram followers, 4.9 million TikTok followers, and 695,000 YouTube subscribers. Despite this, Rare Beauty does have a higher share of voice than Fenty Beauty on social media. As you can see from the graph below, there's a significantly higher social media posts uh, discussing Rare Beauty than there are discussing Fenty Beauty. Another competitor we looked at was Charlotte Tilbury. And this is a competitor in the upscale beauty market and more so the luxury branding side of things. Their audience age is the same as Fenty Beauty's, being 18 to 34-year-olds. And it's the same as Fenty Beauty's audience includes people who are looking for premium beauty products, and these are the same people who would look to Charlotte Tilbury for products. Fenty Beauty has almost double the Instagram followers of Charlotte Tilbury, which has just 7.3 million followers. However, they do have different marketing strategies. Charlotte Tilbury sets itself apart with idealistic storytelling, sophisticated visuals, and they offer masterclasses and lessons for how to use their products the best way. So, looking at the strategic gap that we noticed while conducting our research shows a gap between representation and emotional identity. While Fenty emphasizes diversity, they rarely tell personal stories. And they often use real people, but they just use them as visuals and they don't let their voices come through necessarily in their posts or their campaigns. So YouTube should be at the center of this emotional storytelling due to the long form video nature of the platform, but it currently isn't. And we see that Fenty Beauty needs to elevate the experiences of their audience who are already sharing them in the comment sections and in their own videos. So our connection to the campaign, this is where our campaign titled #MyFentyStory comes in. Our campaign will leverage YouTube for long form storytelling. It will use TikTok and Instagram for raw short form content and visibility, and it'll make customers the stars of the brand's social media content. It will center emotional storytelling at the core of the brand and the campaign, and it will build loyalty through identity.
Okay, now I'm going to talk about the opportunity and idea. First of all, through our research, we identified a major opportunity for Fenty Beauty. While Fenty Beauty does have a massive engagement on TikTok and Instagram, we saw that YouTube, which is a platform with 1.1 million subscribers, is significantly underutilized with uploads only every few months. This is a missed opportunity, especially since YouTube is the strongest platform for long-form storytelling, education, and emotional connection. So we also found that conversations across social platforms are overwhelmingly positive when Fenty highlights diversity and real people. Next, I will talk about the campaign idea called #MyFentyStory. From these insights, we've created this campaign, and this campaign invites real Fenty users of all ages, skin tones, and gender identities to share their personal beauty stories, whether that is through TikTok transformations, Instagram Reels, or longer YouTube mini documentaries. We are creating a space for the community to express themselves. So our idea, it directly supports Fenty's mission of beauty for all while also filling the gap in long-form storytelling and boosting authenticity across all platforms. Next, I will talk about the goals and objectives of the campaign. So our goal for the My Fenty Story campaign is to strengthen Fenty Beauty's position as the leader in inclusive beauty by spotlighting real people and deepening emotional connection with the community. To measure this effectively, we developed SMART objectives aligned with both our research findings and industry benchmarks. First, we want to increase engagement across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube by 15%. We believe this is a realistic target given Fenty's current performance and the high engagement rates seen for authentic user-generated content. Next, we aim to generate at least 1,000 user-generated posts using the hashtag MyFentyStory within the first 3 months. This is key for increasing reach and creating a genuine community feel. We also want to grow Fenty's following among the 25 to 44-year-old age group. This is a demographic often left out of beauty marketing by 10% across platforms. We want to increase it by. Finally, we will track emotional resonance by monitoring sentiment analysis with the goal of 70 to 80% positive sentiment. This reflects audiences feeling represented, inspired, and seen through the campaign. Together, these SMART objectives align directly with Fenty's broader brand mission and gives us clear metrics to evaluate success. Next, I will talk about the audience. So our campaign focuses on reaching Fenty's core audience. This includes Gen Z and millennials, ages 25 to 44. And this is a group that is highly active on social media, highly responsive to beauty content, and deeply values representation, authenticity, and inclusivity. Even though the majority of Fenty's online audience is female, our campaign is intentionally inclusive of all genders, which reflects the brand's commitment to beauty for all. Next, the audience uses beauty as a form of self-expression. They want to see themselves represented online, and our research shows they engage most with content that features real people, personal stories, and diversity. They are socially and culturally attuned, making platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube ideal spaces to reach them.
Next, I will be walking you through our social media content and channel strategy for Fenty Beauty and why we explained why we selected each specific channel to support our campaign goals. Our overall strategy focuses on 3 pillars: boosting brand sentiment, driving engagement, and increasing audience reach. To do this, we built a diverse content mix across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, each chosen for its unique strengths and behaviors of Fenty's core audience. We will begin the month starting on TikTok, using trend-based videos and challenge-style content to tap into the high energy engagement and user participation. TikTok is a platform where Fenty's younger audience is most active and most willing to create content, making it ideal for challenges like My Fenty Glow Routine and call to action videos from influencers. These posts directly support engagement-based SMART goals by encouraging user-generated content and interactions. On Instagram, we focus on the storytelling and community connection. This includes the reels, polls, and highlight posts. Instagram is where fans expect polished visuals and interactive features, so we use these polls and other tools to spark conversation. For example, asking fans which product they want to highlight or want to see next, and highlighting real customer moments. This helps boost the brand sentiment by 80% and drive consistent engagement throughout the entire month. Finally, YouTube supports our long-form storytelling strategy. Tutorials, creator-led videos, and mini documentaries allow us to deepen brand loyalty and showcase Fenty's commitment to inclusivity and authenticity. These videos are also aligned with reach-based SMART goals, particularly when working with creators who bring their own audiences. Overall, this multi-platform approach ensures that we're meeting users where they already are and delivering content that feels native to each channel. By balancing short-form trends, interactive community posts, and long-form storytelling, we create a cohesive strategy that elevates the Fenty Beauty brand across awareness, engagement, and overall loyalty of the brand.
Next, I'm going to be talking about a new technology recommendation. The Fenty AR My Fenty Story Studio combines augmented reality and AI customization to let users try on Fenty products virtually and record their personal beauty story. It enhances engagement and directly supports the campaign goal of emotional connection and representation. Next slide. The AR Studio is not just a filter. It's a guided storytelling tool. The AI isn't meant to be hyper-technical, but instead inclusive and easy to use. It offers shade groups so all users can see themselves represented. And the auto prompts help users create hashtag MyFentyStory videos that align perfectly with our campaign message. Next slide. AR is already a major driver in beauty marketing, but Fenty has the cultural influence to use it creatively. Instead of only doing virtual try-ons, we connect it directly to personal storytelling. This taps into exactly what Gen Z and millennials want: real people, real stories, and interactive visuals. Next slide. For the cross-platform integration, each platform plays a different role. TikTok drives the initial wave of participation. The trending AR filter tied to hashtag MyFentyStoryChallenge encourages short, emotional, authentic stories, and duets and stitches amplify visibility. Instagram turns those stories into beautiful and shoppable content that connects to conversations. AR effects appear in Reels, stories, and live reactions. Shoppable product tags link directly to featured items, and story highlights showcase top UGC for ongoing community engagement. YouTube elevates the campaign to long-form storytelling, deepening emotional impact and reinforcing Fenty's brand identity. For YouTube, the best stories compiled into My Fenty Story Spotlight playlists, creators can expand into long-form tutorial based on AR looks and direct product links in descriptions and encourage conversations. Next slide. This slide shows exactly how the AR Studio pushes users through the funnel. Notice that this tech solution isn't just cosmetic. It compounds reach, engagement, trust, and conversations simultaneously. Next slide. These metrics let us evaluate whether the technology genuinely enhances storytelling and inclusivity, not just engagement. Purchases show how business is impacted, while sentiment analysis tells us whether the content resonates emotionally. Next slide. Next, I'm going to go over the evaluation plan. Our evaluation plan is comprehensive and ties directly into our campaign goals: emotional connection, inclusivity, and engagement. We track weekly shifts, monthly benchmarks, and final KPIs to see both short-term and long-term campaign effectiveness. We measure performance across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and focus on engagement, participation, audience growth, and sentiment. And this includes both quantitative and qualitative analysis. This aligns directly with SMART objectives, and like I said before, we use weekly, monthly, and post-campaign measurement cycle. Next slide. These SMART objectives give us clearer targets. They are measurable, relevant to Fenty's mission, and achievable based on industry benchmarks. We look at engagement, UGC volume, audience growth, sentiment, and long-term impact. Next slide. Looking at these metrics, they ensure that we're comparing Fenty's performance to industry standards rather than just evaluating in a vacuum. Each benchmark validates whether the campaign is over or underperforming relative to beauty brands broadly. On TikTok, we look at video views, shares and comments, duets and stitches. We look at hashtag participation, and our benchmark is 4.25% average. For YouTube, we look at average view duration, CTR, subscribers, and likes and comments, and our benchmark is 1.36% interaction. On Instagram, we look at reach, impressions saved, and shoppable clicks, and our benchmark is 1.141 average. Next slide. This part goes beyond the numbers. It measures authenticity, representation, and emotional resonance, which are central to Fenty's brand identity. If people say the campaign made them feel seen, that's a major indicator of success. Next slide. This schedule ensures optimization throughout the campaign, not just after the fact. Weekly checkups help us pivot. Monthly reports identify larger trends, and the final KPI reports ties everything back to business impact. Next slide. Tying it all back to Fenty's mission, everything traces back to inclusivity and emotional connection. The AR tool supports representation, the evaluation measures it, and the campaign reinforces Fenty's leadership in redefining beauty standards. Next slide. These are all our works cited slides that show all the information where we got all our information. Thank you so much for listening.